Hey, this is Al Angelo from A Plus Racing with more tips on how to put you on the front line. It's the end of October. Halloween's only a couple days away, and that means the 25-hour of Thunderhill is coming up. What I've done is I prepared a video for you to watch. If you're going to race the 25-hour, you've never been to Thunderhill before, you want to know how the configuration works, this is the video for that. So in preparation for the 25-hour, I highly recommend that you watch this video. If you're driving a Spec Miata, you're going to be golden because I'm actually racing a Spec Miata in this video, and you can see exactly where I'm shifting, exactly where I put my car. Now, I'm sorry the video is kind of old. I did this on a GoPro several years back, and I actually drove this street car to the race and then threw race tires on, ended up getting P1 and went on to win the race. There are some Maseratis in there, and I think a BMW, but those guys take off. I actually bumped the Maserati in turn 2, I think it is, because he's going too slow. But so the key things I want you to watch for is where I'm putting the car, where I'm stepping on the brake, where I'm stepping on the gas. And the other trick, too, is to listen. One of the ways that I became a fast driver was listening to the videos of other people driving. And what I mean by that is we're all pretty much running 430 gear ratio. So everybody has the same gear ratio, and we shift at supposedly the same time. Listen to where I rev the car up, where I shift. Mark where I shift on the racetrack. Because if you're finding yourself needing to shift at those same points, then you're catching up to me. If you find that you're shifting way, late after where I'm shifting, then you're slower. Okay, so that's kind of a key thing. When I'm sitting on the sidelines and I'm coaching and I'm watching another driver, I kind of watch to see where do they shift, into fourth, like coming down the main straight on turn 1. Is it before the K-wall or after the K-wall starts? That kind of tells me if they're stepping on the gas late or if they're getting on the gas early. So follow these tips. Like I said, again, I'm going to apologize for the quality of the video. It was taken a long time ago. There's some glare to it, but I still think it's very valuable, especially in preparation for the 25-hour. So we're going back to the 25-hour this year. We're going to win it again like we've done in the past. And I want to thank you for subscribing to my channel. Yeah, class is almost over. And I want to thank you for coming in and watching all my videos. The comments have been great. I've been answering the comments as quickly as I can. I've got a stack of new videos coming up for you guys in the future that you requested, all right? So I love hearing from you. Brian in Florida, like hearing from you guys. My Portland buddies up there that are watching me, videos coming your way, all right? Thank you so much, and let's get on with the racetrack. All right. Hey, this is Al Angelo from A Plus Racing. I'm about to show you a video on how to turn a fast lap at the Thunderhill Raceway 3 Mile in Willows, California. This video is actually taken at a race with NCRC, and they had a few other cars in here. You can see there's a BMW and a couple of Maserati race cars. There's about 15 Spec Miatas behind me, and what I'm doing here is I'm staging my start. I have P1 for the Spec Miata class. So I want to explain something about what's going on with the start. Is you'll probably notice that I have the vehicle in second gear, and actually what I'm doing is I'm stepping on the brake and I have the throttle wide open throttle. That's right, my right foot is wooded to the floor. And what I'm doing is I'm controlling my distance on the car in front of me by modulating my brake instead of the gas. So I'm basically power braking the car. And what's gonna happen is as soon as I see the green flag come out, I'm gonna go ahead and let off the brake, and you're gonna see the vehicle launch forward. This is the fastest way to get my car up into the power band and get me away from the pack that's trying to chase me down behind me. So we're gonna go ahead and continue watching what I'm doing, and you'll also notice that as soon as the green flag comes out, you're gonna see me immediately shift into third gear. And I try not to grab the shifter too hard, because if I grab the shifter too hard and I try to get over to third gear, I could miss the shift and go into fifth, and it would be like reverse Star Wars. So here we go. So kind of watch me on the start, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to walk you through what I do on every turn so that you can go ahead and improve your lap times at Thunderhill on the 3 mile. All right, let's race these guys. Okay, second gear, there it goes. I let off the brake and the car's gone. So yeah, those cars in front of me, those are like 600 horsepower cars. But watch out, man, my little Miata here with 110 horsepower is coming up on them. This is actually a street legal Miata, and I drove it to the racetrack and put race tires on it, and I'm racing against these guys. So coming into turn 2 here, we already went through turn 1, is you notice that I'm sucking the car down a little closer into the inside. I always like doing this for the fact that I don't want to leave my nose open there where somebody's going to bloody it. So you'll get a lot of rookies that'll want to stick their nose in there, and next thing you know, you guys are collecting and you're going spinning off into the grassland back there. So I kind of bring my car in a little bit early. I'm in third gear already. I'm coming onto the inside, and I'm waiting for that apex that's on the outside. So I'm watching for those rumbles. So follow me through here. So we come up. Yeah, the Maserati's a little slow. I give him a little bump right here. Here it comes, and a little boom, a little love tap right there. All right, so we're going to follow through. This Maserati kind of screwed up my lap. We'll catch you on the next one. So I'm coming through on turn 3. This is turn 4. I'm on the inside. He leaves a little gap, but he's got way more horsepower than me. We're doing the bypass. So let me explain to the bypass here. This is a common configuration used on NASA. And so I am going to put my car one car width away from the track on the left-hand side. Hey, whatever you do going over this bypass, don't do anything abrupt at the peak of this hill, because you could roll the car down the other side. So I already lined my car up on the direction I want to go to set myself up for turn 5. And I'm coming over the hill. I keep the steering wheel straight. I kind of keep my gas pedal where it's at. It's not floored. It's not backed off. I'm keeping it steady as I come over the hill. If I'm too far to the right, yeah, you guessed it, the car's going to jump off the ground and you're going to catch some air. So one car width away from the left-hand side seems to be the magic number. And I kind of hold tight, and then when I start coming down through here for 5, I'll rail that thing, and I just then I slowly bring the gas on, and I'm back to wide open throttle. You can hear it in the car. So I'm sucking on the inside. I'm pretty much wide open throttle. I'm setting myself up for turn 6. So here, the Maserati's kind of got me caught up. I normally start my turn in a little farther to the right, but this guy's he's kind of holding me up. But we're gonna come around here, and I'm gonna wave goodbye, because like I said, he's like 600 horsepower, and I'm 110. So there he goes, and he's gone. All right, this is turn 7. I shift into 4th. Okay, we're wide open throttle all the way from turn 6 to the top of 9. I'm looking here. Now, this looks like a spooky turn. Man, I know it. I've come through here a zillion times, and it scares me. But here's the deal. If you look at the exit of where we're going to put the car, I could land an airplane out there, all right? It's that big. So I set myself up to come to the inside of this apex. I'm wide open throttle in 4th gear. I don't let off, all right? Stay wide open throttle, no brakes, let the car go, and focus on the exit of turn 8. So I'm going to touch this inside apex here, and I'm looking at my exit, and there's plenty of room to carry my speed through. Here it goes. Look at that. Big old aircraft landing strip. So I'm coming up on turn 9. I'm going to downshift into 3rd up here. I'm going to put a little bit of weight on the front end. Now, turn 9 is a common mistake by rookies to turn in too late. So I want to turn in a little earlier on turn 9 so it forces me more to the outside. So kind of watch how I take this turn. So I'm coming up, a downshift into 3rd. There was no braking. I don't know if you noticed that. All I did was use the downshift to 3rd to set the front tires to move my weight to the front of the car so that I could approach turn 9 here with a great deal of speed. And I'm going to follow that speed, carry that speed with me as I go over the hill. So I touch the inside apex. Look where it puts me. Because I went into the turn early, it puts me to the right outside of turn 9. This is where I want to be, because I'm not letting off the gas. I'm not stepping on the brakes. I stepped on the gas early. I'm carrying a lot of speed. Actually, I usually go over this turn at about 86 miles an hour, which is in this car, which is an NA16, is going to hit the rev limiter for 3rd gear, and I'm going to have to immediately shift into 4th. So here we go. Over the crest of the hill, 4th gear. follow through. Okay, I'm following through. I'm letting the car drift to the left a little bit. It's kind of like a slow dance that you're kind of moving with the flow of the track. You move with the flow of your dancing partner. It's kind of the same feeling here. So I let the car flow to the left, and I'm slowly going to bring the car over to the right. Now, I got to watch to see if somebody's going to try to be putting a nose in on me, either on the inside or the outside. So I'm kind of watching my mirrors because I don't want to let anybody by. I'm in first place right now. I had P1. I'm still in first place. There's 15 cars chasing behind me. They want my position. So here we go. We're setting ourselves up for turn 10. So I follow through, and I'm going to slowly bring the car to the right. I try to get the car as far right as possible. I've downshifted into third, and if you notice, my head is turned. I'm already looking at that inside apex of where I want to hit on turn 10 here. If you ever get the chance to walk Thunderhill and you walk this turn, you're going to find out it's banked. So being that it's banked, the car will hold more grip than what you really think it will. So let's watch it. I come through, I'm on the inside apex, and I follow through all the way to the outside. So I was all the way to the far right entering the turn. I came in, touched the inside apex on the inside of 10, and I followed through to the outside. Now we come up to turn 11. Man, this is where it makes or breaks good drivers, and I'm going to show you how to take 11 fast. All right, here we go. We're coming up to 11. Notice the car's in third gear. I don't use second gear. The reason why, couple reasons. One, it slows me down. Two, it's hard on the transmission. And so it's faster for me to take it in third gear. Now what I did do is on the right hand side as you're approaching 11, there are 2 paint markers. I go to the second one and then I turn in from there. I don't start letting the car creep over a little at a time where I ended up committing into turn 11 halfway in the middle of the track. I started all the way from the far right. And you see that inside apex on the left-hand side? I'm going to put my car on there hard, all right? I'm going to be hard on that inside apex. The harder I can be on that inside apex on this turn, the straighter I can make 12 and 13. Watch how I do it. Hard on that inside apex, and I straighten the thing out, okay? So look at it. That last turn was basically a straight line. I'm coming through. This is 13. I follow through. I shift into fourth. I'm doing about 100 right here. I'm lining myself up for turn 14. Now here's turn 14 is a little tricky. There are 3 paint markers on the left-hand side. I'm going to turn in on the last paint marker. Before I get to that last paint marker, I'm going to be looking at the right side inside apex. It's actually all concrete. You're going to notice the concrete has a lot of black marks on it. That's because we're putting our cars on that concrete. So I want to make turn 14 and 15 here one turn. I only want to turn the steering wheel one time and then slowly unwind the turn as I'm going through turn 14 and 15. I also want you to listen to where I'm stepping on the gas. As soon as I get the car rotated, I'm going to be on the gas. So I'm setting the turn up here where I'm all the way to the left. I've already downshifted the car into third. I'm getting on a little bit of brake. I'm modulating brake. So I'm moving the weight to the front of the car. When I get to the last paint marker on the left-hand side here, I'm going to turn the car to the right. I'm going to rotate it, but my weight is still on the front of the car. So what I need to do is I need to move the weight to the rear of the car after I make the turn. How do we do that? We step on the gas. So by stepping on the gas, I'll move the weight to the back. By stepping on the brake and downshifting, I move the weight to the front. So I'm weighting the front of the car, and let's follow through here on the video. Downshift into third, and now listen for the throttle. There it is. Before I even hit the turn, I'm wide open throttle. That did 2 things. 1, it weighted the back of the car. 2, it made my straightaway 200 feet longer. So what does that mean for my car going down the straightaway? It means I'm faster. So if I'm 2 miles an hour faster than the guy behind me, that's probably going to be 10, 15 car lengths by the time we get to turn 1. So that's the advantage of getting on the gas early, is that I make the straightaway longer. Now, I just got to make sure I don't scrub off too much speed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be careful of how hard I turn the steering wheel. I'm going to make sure that on 14 and 15, I only turn the steering wheel once. So you'll notice that I'm slowly unwinding the steering wheel. I don't make 2 turns out of 14 and 15, even though they're 2 turns. Okay, here we go. So, unwinding, unwinding. See that? I never turned to the right again, okay? I unwinded the entire time. I made that one turn. I'm into fourth gear. I'm going to be coming here past the tower. This is about 104 miles an hour. I usually come down the straightaway about 115. I'm leaving it in fourth gear. Notice that on turn one, I'm all the way to the right. Okay, so I'm far right as I can go. I've just turned in on the last paint marker, and I've got my eye on that inside apex there on the left-hand side. So I'm going to be aiming for that inside apex. As soon as the car is rotated, you're going to hear it come back on the wide open throttle, and I'm going to follow through. Inside apex right there. The car's already wide open throttle. I followed through on the exit. So now I'm setting myself up for turn two. Before we had the Maserati in the way. Remember that slow orange car? All right, so here we go. So I'm all the way to the right on turn two, and I'm going to downshift into third, and then I'm going to slowly suck the car into turn two. See, I told you I was going to shift into third. All right, there it is. So I've sucked into turn two. And turn two is kind of unique that it has a natural braking point where the car, it wants to go to the outside. So right here I'm doing about 80 miles an hour. And the car is going to naturally want to go to the right. And it's just going to feel like it needs to go there. That if I would have to force the car to the left to stay on the left side. I don't want to force the car. I want the car to move with the weight. So here it goes. And it's like right in here. I feel the car naturally wants to come out. Notice that I'm on the rumbles on the right-hand side. I'm using the entire track. I mean, they put that pavement there for a reason, and that's so we could be a fast lap. Setting myself up for turn two. Last time, or turn three, the Maserati was in our way. Here's the fastest way around turn three. If you notice that I can't see turn three because it's on the other side of this hill, all right? I'm going to have to go over the hill, and I know that turn three is going to turn to the right. So here's the trick, and I got to tell you, this is a great tip to know. Watch me as I set up this turn is an S formation. So I'm all the way to the right. I go all the way to the left, or almost all the way left. I go to the left one car width away from the end. You can see that the track is dropping off. It's an off-cambered turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn in early. The benefit it makes for me turning in early is I weight the left rear tire quicker than if I was to just go straight. If I went straight over this turn three, which a lot of you do, especially rookies, they go straight over turn three, they get halfway down the hill and they realize they have to turn to the right and they have to rotate the weight from the front all the way to the left. And it takes a while and it's loose down there. You're going to spin out. If I turn in early and hit this little hill at an angle, I can weight the left rear tire before I ever get to the turn. What does that mean? It means that I can get on the gas faster, all right? So I'm on the gas faster, I'm off the brakes, and I can go through turn three much faster than if I drove straight over it, then moved all the weight as I tried to rotate the car to the right. So watch here how I set it up. I'm one car width away from the left-hand side. See, I'm coming over, and notice where my car is at. I'm already over the hill. My left rear tire is already weighted. All I'm doing now is throttle steering the car through the inside apex to set me up for 4. So here we go. Bam, right there's the apex. I'm already looking at 4 on how I'm going to approach turn 4. It's going to be a straight shot. Okay, so here I'm lined up. I'm touched my inside apex on 4, and I'm going to follow through to set me up for 5. Okay, and then this is the bypass, one car width over from the left. I don't allow the car to move over any more than that. I'm pretty much wide open throttle here, setting myself up for 6. I'm on the inside. I'm going to follow through to the outside. I'm going to shift into 4th right here, and I'm letting it fly. Hey, this is that fast lap at Thunder Hill. On this configuration, I normally turn 206s, 207s, and so I hope this helped you out. I hope that you subscribe. If you want more tips on racing, by all means, if you subscribe and you ask me a question, I'll go ahead and answer it for you. And we'll make any video you need on Spec Miata racing, or if you need to have any maintenance done on your Spec Miata. I'm happy to help you out. Thank you. This is Al Angelo from A+ Racing.